Goldie Hawn has spent more than half a century making people laugh. Her smile lit up movie screens, her comedic timing redefined what women could do in Hollywood, and her determination broke stereotypes that tried to hold her back. But behind the charm and the laughter, there is another story. A story marked by fractured relationships, health battles, and painful losses. Today, at 79, the woman once seen as untouchable now faces the weight of tragedy in ways few could imagine. A childhood shaped by loss and dance. Goldie Jean Hawn was born on November 21, 1945, in Washington, D.C., into a family that carried both creativity and sorrow. Her father, Edward Rutledge Hawn, was a musician and conductor of German and English descent, said to be a descendant of Edward Rutledge, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Her mother, Laura Steinhoff, was the daughter of Hungarian Jewish immigrants and ran a dance school. Goldie grew up alongside her sister Patty, never knowing that she once had an older brother, Edward Jr., who had died before Patty was even born. That silence lingered in the family, shaping a subtle sense of absence in Goldie's early years. By the age of 3, Goldie was already in her mother's ballet and tap studio, finding comfort in rhythm and movement. At 10, she was chosen to perform in the Nutcracker with the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, a remarkable achievement that hinted at her raw talent. By 19, she had left her drama studies at American University to open and teach at her own ballet school. Teaching children gave her independence, but it also revealed something about herself. She did not want to be boxed in by tradition. She longed for something bigger, a stage where every eye in the room would fall on her. In 1966, with just $250 in her pocket, $200 of which she had already spent on a tiny poodle, Goldie flew to California. She was 21, chasing opportunity with little more than hope and instinct. On her way across the desert, her old Chevrolet broke down, and she found herself stranded with only $50 left. A hitchhiker, a Green Beret just back from Vietnam, gave her a ride to safety. It was a small, random event, but it reflected a pattern that would follow her life. Even in chaos, Goldie found a way forward. Her first years in California were far from glamorous. She performed as a dancer in theater productions and eventually made it onto television. In 1967, she landed a role in the sitcom Good Morning World, where she was typecast as a bubbly, clueless blonde. But her true breakthrough came in 1968 when she joined NBC's sketch comedy Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Goldie giggled mid-sentence, danced in bikinis, and became a pop culture sensation. For 5 years, she appeared on the show, winning audiences with her natural spontaneity. It was the start of her transformation into one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Hollywood stardom and the price of fame. Goldie Hawn's career took a sharp turn in 1969 with her role in Cactus Flower. Playing Toni Simmons, the free-spirited young woman caught in a tangled love affair, she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress on her very first major film role. The film, made for just $3 million, earned more than $25 million at the U.S. box office, cementing Goldie as a new star. Yet, in a twist that mirrored her unconventional nature, she wasn't even at the ceremony. At 4 a.m, while in London filming another project, she received a call telling her she had just become an Oscar winner. The win opened the door to Hollywood's elite, but it also came with labels that Goldie would spend years trying to escape. She was quickly typecast as the dumb blonde, a stereotype that undermined her intelligence and limited her range. Determined not to be trapped, she fought for roles that gave her agency. Films like Butterflies Are Free and Shampoo showcased her ability to blend innocence with sharp wit. By the mid-1970s, Goldie was no longer just a starlet. She was becoming a producer and a trailblazer. In 1980, she produced and starred in Private Benjamin, a comedy about a pampered woman who unexpectedly finds herself in the U.S. Army. Studio executives doubted the project, claiming no one would pay to see a women-led military comedy. When the original director quit, Goldie stepped in, hiring Howard Zieff to finish the film. The risk paid off. Private Benjamin grossed nearly $70 million, earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Actress, and proved she could lead not only on screen, but also behind the scenes. Throughout the 1980s, she delivered a string of successful films, including Best Friends, Swing Shift, and Overboard, the latter alongside Kurt Russell, who would become her life partner. But the success came at a price. Goldie admitted to exhaustion, panic attacks, and constant pressure to remain perfect. Hollywood expected her to be the always laughing, always carefree woman, even when she was struggling privately. Her career peak came in 1996 with The First Wives Club. Starring alongside Diane Keaton and Bette Midler, Goldie helped turn the film into a global success, grossing $181 million on a $26 million budget. Yet even then, her personal life told a different story. Beneath the glamour of premieres and award ceremonies, Goldie was carrying emotional scars from broken marriages and the burden of being the higher earner in nearly every relationship she had. Broken marriages, family conflicts, and painful estrangements. Goldie Hawn's personal life often stood in stark contrast to the laughter she created on screen. Her first marriage to dancer Gus Triconis in 1969 was short-lived, ending in separation by 1973. Just as her career soared, her private life was falling apart. Goldie later admitted she longed for escape, confessing to People magazine in 1976 that she wanted to go somewhere like India to meditate because she felt so drained. Their divorce became final in 1976, the same year Goldie married musician Bill Hudson of the Hudson Brothers. With Bill, Goldie welcomed 2 children, Oliver, born in 1976, and Kate, born in 1979. But the marriage quickly deteriorated. By 1980, Hudson filed for divorce, accusing Goldie of wanting an open marriage and deliberately keeping him away from the children. Goldie denied the claims, but the damage was done. In later years, Bill accused her of parental alienation, telling the Daily Mail in 2015 that she often flouted custody agreements, once taking the children on her private jet to Colorado when he was supposed to see them. He went so far as to declare that Oliver and Kate were no longer my children, a statement that deepened the estrangement. Kate and Oliver would go on to form a close bond with Kurt Russell, Goldie's partner from 1983 onward, while their relationship with Bill Hudson fractured almost beyond repair. The bitterness erupted publicly in 2015 when Oliver posted a photo on Father's Day with the caption, "Happy Abandonment Day." Bill responded furiously, demanding they stop using his surname. The pain of family estrangement lingered for decades. Oliver revealed in March 2024 on his podcast Sibling Revelry that his deepest childhood trauma was connected to his mother. "She was my primary caregiver and I was with her all of the time," he said, admitting he often felt unprotected when she was working long hours or involved with boyfriends he disliked. While Oliver now has 3 children of his own and maintains a strong relationship with both Goldie and Kurt, his words highlighted how even the most dedicated parent can leave scars. Kate Hudson, on the other hand, has long praised her mother's resilience and guidance, especially in how she raised her children to raise their own families well. Still, the wounds of Goldie's second marriage remain a lasting shadow, a reminder that her path to motherhood was as turbulent as her career was dazzling. The love of Kurt Russell, family bonds, and new generations. If Goldie Hawn's early marriages left her heart bruised, her relationship with Kurt Russell offered a different kind of stability. The two first met in 1968 while filming the one and only genuine original family band. At the time, Goldie was 21, Kurt just 16, and nothing romantic came of it. Both moved on to other relationships, but fate reunited them in 1983 on the set of Swing Shift. This time, both were single. Goldie was already an established star and mother of two, while Kurt was maturing as an actor after years as a Disney leading man. Their romance began in an almost cinematic fashion. After a night out together, they spontaneously decided to check out a house. With no key, they ended up breaking in and were caught by police. An absurd but fitting start to a love story that would span more than 4 decades. Goldie and Kurt made the unusual choice never to marry, not out of fear of commitment, but to preserve the sense of freedom in choosing each other daily. If you're independent, if you love your freedom, not marrying gives you the feeling that you're together because you want to be, not because you're tied down, Goldie explained years later. Their blended family became a patchwork of love and loyalty. Goldie brought Oliver and Kate into the relationship. Kurt brought his son Boston from a previous marriage, and in 1986 they welcomed their son, Wyatt Russell. Despite the fractured past with Bill Hudson, the Russell-Hawn household became a sanctuary. Kate once said that Kurt's presence gave her a sense of security she had never known before. Wyatt, meanwhile, followed in his parents' footsteps, transitioning from professional hockey to acting, landing roles in 22 Jump Street and Marvel's The Falcon and The Winter Soldier. Wyatt married fellow actor Meredith Hagner, and together they had 2 sons, Buddy Prine in 2021 and Boone Joseph in 2024. The family lived near Goldie and Kurt in Pacific Palisades until tragedy struck in January 2025 when wildfires forced them to evacuate. Meredith shared updates on Instagram, writing, "My little family is safe. Not sure about our house, but I'm so lucky. But man, do I love our special seaside community so deeply." Later, she revealed that Kate Hudson offered them temporary refuge in her Palm Desert home before they relocated to Aspen, Colorado, to begin anew. For Goldie, family has always been both her anchor and her heartbreak. She has watched her children grow into parents themselves, carrying forward what she calls the domino effect of raising children who know how to raise their own. Yet, the family bond has been forged through fire, divorce, estrangement, reconciliation, and even the literal flames of natural disaster. Health struggles, panic attacks, and the dark side of stardom. For all her glittering success, Goldie Hawn's life behind the curtain has often been marked by struggle. From the start of her career, she suffered from anxiety and panic attacks. She confessed in an interview that during her early years in Hollywood, she lost her smile and often didn't want to go outside. Her heart would race without warning, leaving her frightened and unsure when the next wave would strike. These weren't just passing nerves, they were debilitating panic attacks that made her question whether she could survive the pressures of sudden fame. To cope, Goldie turned to therapy, working with a psychologist for 8 years. The process helped her rebuild her sense of joy and stability. In later years, she became an advocate for mental health awareness, founding Mind Up, a program dedicated to helping children manage stress and emotions through mindfulness and brain science. She often said that her own journey through fear and anxiety inspired her to create a platform that could give others the tools she never had at their age. But emotional struggles were only part of her battles. In recent years, Goldie's physical health has raised concern. At the 2025 Academy Awards, while presenting alongside actor Andrew Garfield, she admitted on stage that she could not read the teleprompter. "Okay, sweetheart, can you read that?" "I can't read that. I'm completely blind. I am," she confessed, explaining with a hint of humor that she was suffering from cataracts. At 79, the condition was not unusual, but the revelation shocked audiences who saw the once radiant star admitting vulnerability in front of millions. Cataracts cloud the eyes, cause night blindness, and make it difficult to see under bright lights, like those of the Oscar stage. Though treatable with surgery, the moment was symbolic. Goldie, who had spent her career portraying energy and vitality, was now confronting the frailties of age in the most public of settings. Beyond physical ailments, the darker side of stardom also left scars. Goldie has spoken of colleagues who disrespected or undermined her, from Kirk Douglas cutting her off in meetings, to Warren Beatty spreading rumors after she rejected his advances, to Chevy Chase mocking her during filming. She learned to walk away rather than fight public battles, preserving her dignity, but also carrying the quiet weight of being belittled in an industry dominated by powerful men. Loss, mourning, and the fragility of legacy. As the years passed, Goldie Hawn's laughter became tempered by loss. In July 2013, her close friend and Private Benjamin co-star Eileen Brennan died from bladder cancer. The two had shared not only professional success, but personal trials, including a harrowing night in 1982 when Brennan was struck by a car while Goldie stood nearby. Though the accident left Brennan severely injured and embroiled both women in a lawsuit, their friendship endured until Brennan's final days. Goldie mourned her publicly, writing, "No one ever made me laugh more. Now I cry." A decade later, in 2025, Goldie faced another devastating farewell. Her longtime Laugh-In co-star and dear friend Ruth Buzzi passed away at the age of 88 after complications from Alzheimer's and multiple strokes. The two had shared a deep bond since the late 1960s, talking daily even in their later years. Upon Ruth's passing, Goldie posted an emotional tribute. "My Ruthie, you're gone, and it hurts so deeply. I'll always treasure our daily calls, how we could talk endlessly, even after long days. You were my girlfriend, my heart through life's ups and downs. You made me laugh like no one else could." These losses were not just about friends, but about entire eras of her life. With Brennan, Goldie shared the struggles of Hollywood in the 1980s. With Buzzi, she had built her comedic identity in the 1960s. Losing them was like losing pieces of herself, chapters of a life story that could never be reopened. Even her own family relationships carried grief. The estrangement of her children from Bill Hudson cast a long shadow, while Oliver's public comments in 2024 about feeling unsafe as a child revealed wounds that never fully healed. Goldie's resilience has always been her shield. But by her late 70s, it was clear that even the brightest smile cannot cover a lifetime of sorrow. Goldie Hawn's life has been filled with triumph and tragedy, joy and heartbreak. From Oscar glory to panic attacks, from broken marriages to the love of Kurt Russell, from Hollywood superstardom to health battles at 79, her story reflects the fragile humanity behind the legend. Which of Goldie Hawn's roles or moments do you remember most? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the stories of Hollywood's most unforgettable stars.